Have you heard the parable of the fish who found the sea? So once upon a time there was this fish who lived in a great sea, not being aware he was in it. He believed he swam up and down and around in an empty space all by himself, which he thought was very clever of himself. But one day he started overthinking. What if he forgets how to swim? At that moment all his skill of swimming had left him and he began to fall. In the midst of the fall he realized there is only one way of saving himself: to grab hold of his own tail with his mouth and hold himself up. But the faster he chased his own tail, the faster it moved away, and his life was becoming meaningless and dull. But he was so afraid to stop. He was so sure that if he stopped, he would fall down into the abyss. All this while, the great sea had been watching him with a sense of amusement and worry. So the great sea called out to him, "What do you think you are doing? You have been chasing your own tail for quite a while, yet you are nowhere near to catching it." This was too much for the fish, so he stopped and looked around to see who was talking to him. And there was no one to be seen. And it was strange though, how he was still floating in the water, as if he was suspended from an empty space. "There now," continued the great sea. "You thought you were doing it all by yourself, and you never knew I hold you up all the time. Can't you see I'm the one who is keeping you afloat? I have given all myself to you, and yet you have forgotten me and wasted all your efforts in pursuing your own end." Then the fish realized that how he has been always looked after and protected by the great sea. From that moment, that fish was happier than ever. The moral of the story is that in life we try so hard to stay in control, fearing if we let go, we will fall into some bottomless pit of despair and suffering. But what really happens when we let go? We realize we are held by something much bigger than ourselves. Don't be so sure that you are doing everything by yourself. I'm sure you have a lot to do with where you are right now, but universe also played a major role in it. There are always bigger forces in play. So the best thing you can do is get out of your own way.